Real lovers, real lovers, real lovers, what is up? It's your man Jay Immanuel. Want to welcome you guys to this amazing episode. Today, we're going to be diving into a discussion that I had with my man Felix. It's an exclusive discussion over for our Patreon. So by all means, if you want to gain full access to the discussion, it'll be on Patreon, baby. But today, we're going to be talking about why modern women do not value introverted men. This is a clip you're going to hear from my man Felix, who identifies as an introverted man. He's going to share why, ladies, he believes that many modern women do not value the introverted man. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into the clip and see what my man Felix has to say.
The question about, how women should view introverts. I don't think a lot of women, like in today's society, like necessarily see the value in being with an introverted man, because you don't see that you don't see it really conceptualized in our media.
Right.
Like the ideal guy is always like the guy who's gonna just be like this alpha male type figure. And I don't know, I was just thinking about that.
Now let's stop right here. Clearly, my man Felix just dropped a gem. This is so true. I totally agree with him. The media has definitely provided this image that the men women should be looking for are that more extroverted man. Not just the alpha man, but that man who has that quality of, being smooth. That man that is confident and able to speak to women. And that's not to say that an introverted man is not confident, cannot speak to women. He definitely can, but his mode of operandi, his MO is a little bit different than the extroverted man, the man that you see projected on your television screen almost on the daily. So ladies, what we have to realize is that the media, television, it's all programming. It's programming your mind. It's programming your perception on how you view men. And you got to be mindful of that. You may not necessarily want to shun or devalue introverted men, but you got to acknowledge the fact that every time you watching a show or a movie or some programming, and all they're showing you is the leading man, this guy, he's that introverted dude, he's that alpha man, he's the man that comes in and he's the center of attention, right? And they're letting women know that those are the type of men that we want to program you to go after. We all know that there is a bunch of value, or maybe you don't know, but in case you don't, there's a lot of value that introverted men bring to the table, ladies. And that's why this discussion with my man Felix is so important, because I don't think there's a lot of discussions being had with introverted men about how women perceive them and their thoughts and their feelings on that. So let's get back into it. A good point. I think that our media really dictates what our society tends to look for, especially when it comes to, women looking for men and men looking for women. Facts. Putting forth a model or a projection of what people should be trying to attain. And you're right. I feel like when you look at a lot of the characters that are portrayed as the leading man in a lot of these shows or movies, like you mentioned, he's either like a super alpha or he's kind of the life of the party, like super extroverted, like he's the popular guy that the women like. And very seldom, you'll see the more quiet guy, but usually there's something to him more than just like his quietness. And they try to play it more so as he's mysterious. That right there. They may have the guy that's quiet, that's more low key, that's more reserved in the show, in the movie, right? But it's like, oh man, he's mysterious, he's intriguing. There's still this layer to him that it's not that he's introverted, right? It's definitely not that. You're never gonna see them say the leading man is, oh, he's so introverted. No, he's so mysterious. He's so intriguing. And there's nothing wrong with that, yo. I hope you are enjoying this discussion with my man Felix so far. And if you are, I want to encourage you to go listen to this full discussion. This is just going to be a short clip that I'm sharing with you guys from the discussion. If you want to know how to gain access to it, all you got to do is go over to Patreon, baby. Let me show you what that's going to look like if you choose to do it. Right here on our Patreon, patreon.com/JEmanuel. You can already see we dropping the content over here. We have 2 membership tiers. All you need is this first one, and then it get you locked in as a day one real one. Be one of our day one real ones and gain access to amazing discussions like this. I got so much exclusive content that's going to be coming for the Patreon, helping out the ladies, answering y'all questions, putting videos up. Just drop one. Just drop one on how ladies can get out of the friend zone. You don't want to miss it. Ladies, if you're trying to get up out the friend zone, tap into the Patreon. I go through it. It's a great video. It's like 20 minutes of me giving y'all the game. I give y'all examples of women that got out the friend zone with me. I give you examples of women that I messed up and stuck them in the friend zone and you know, it went a different way. You don't want to miss it, yo. But more importantly, if you want to gain more of this content with my man Felix, it's a great discussion. Over an hour long, we go deep into what women need to know about introverted men. So if you want to gain access to that full discussion, by all means, tap into the Patreon. There will be a link in the description. And I also want to encourage you guys to become a day one real one. Rock with us from day one before we get out here and blow up. As y'all already know we gonna do, baby. We taking over these YouTube streets. Y'all coming with me? Let's do this, baby. But that's it. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna end the commercial break right here. Get back into the main content. Let's do it, baby. Introverted, right? And that's kind of one of those ways where they don't necessarily one of those ways
cut off a little bit.
They don't necessarily try to peg the character as an introvert, but they don't necessarily.
I'm still working on this, y'all.
As opposed to being introverted, right? And that's kind of one of those ways where they don't know he's mysterious as opposed to being introverted, right? And that's kind of one of those ways where they don't necessarily try to peg the character as an introvert, but they just try to say, oh, he's mysterious. The way that he moves, you know, it's more alluring. And, you know, like
they always have to give it a positive attribute, even if it's negative. Like when somebody walks up to you and they're like, oh, like, you seem like you're in such a good mood, but it's like, sometimes I'm not.
Right.
But like they try to force this narrative on people that you have to be like this certain tier of guy to like have a relationship and stuff like that. And it comes off as like, oh, I don't want to be around this negativity. So when girls see introverted guys, it's just like, oh, well, I'll just wait until I find somebody who can put me in a certain like atmosphere of life.
Yeah.
And
I think that in and of itself is somewhat of a misconception too, because even though an introverted person may not be like happy and bubbly all of the time, like the same is true for extroverted people. Like everybody goes through like ebbs and flows in life.
Cycles in life,
and I would say this, some people have a tendency to be able to mask it a lot better than other people.
That right there. Now, I don't think that people try to mask their introverted or extrovertedness, but we know that there are people out here, they got the full-blown mask on, and we ain't talking about the bug, baby, right? They covering up their whole self. They don't want you to know who they are. They giving you that representative. You trying to figure out who is this whole character you've been dating? This whole character you've been vibing with. Who is it? They flip it on you. On some Two-Face type of stuff from Batman. On some Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde type stuff. You like, who is this? Where is the real you? You know what I'm saying? Can the real you please stand up? No Slim Shady with it? You feel me? Ladies, I know y'all want men to remove the mask, be genuinely yourself. Either she gonna rock with you or she not. And similarly, ladies, ain't no reason to put no mask on around no men. You know what I'm saying? Come pure with it. Just like the face with no makeup. You ain't necessarily got to do that. What I'm saying as an example is come to the table with your natural look. Come to the table with no mask on. Be you. Let them either accept you for who you are or let them bounce. All right? That's real facts right there. That's real talk, real rap. Don't ever miss that. Be you. Drop the mask. Ain't no reason to pretend. Be yourself. Don't fall for the okie doke and don't allow nobody to put you through the ringer, making you fall for a representative. You fell in love with the mask when you saw his real face. It was like, oh, you scared of it and everything. He scared you out here. It's ugly in these streets. But y'all, let's get back into this joint with my man Felix, man. It's heating up out here.
Through like ebbs and flows in life. And I would say this, some people have a tendency to be able to mask it
a lot better than other people. And that's
Mhm.
not necessarily a bad thing. I think sometimes you do have to kind of put on that poker face to, go through life. But it's about whether or not you're doing that as like your MO, or whether
Right.
you're doing it in order to just make it through the day, to get to a place where you don't have to necessarily let everybody into your life or what's going on at that particular time.
And there's a difference between that, right? It's a difference between wearing a mask and putting on a poker face when you're going through a tough time. Like, you can't be wearing your feelings on your sleeve and be all at work, all distraught, that attention seeking person because you going through a tough time. That's sometimes where you have to put on the poker face and just kind of fight through and power through that day until you're able to get to yourself, regroup, and get yourself back in the space where you're good. That's different from the mask. The mask, like I said, like that MO. If your mode of operandi, I know I'm saying that wrong. I think I'm saying that wrong. Put that, spam the chat for me messing up MO, man. I forgot what it is. I know it's mode of operation, modus operandi. Call me out on it in the comments, man. Yo, let me know. What's the correct way to say it? Help your boy out. Help your man Jay out in this moment, yo. But y'all know what I'm saying, though. The MO, that can't be your MO. That can't be what you rely on, what you always bring into the table is the mask. Like, you can't step out in public without your mask on. You ain't a superhero. You a human being. Step out. Be you. Let people either love you or step off. Let's get into it, y'all.
Or whether you're doing it in order to just make it through the day, to get to a place where you don't have to necessarily let
And I'm taking it back so
everybody
y'all
into
don't
your
miss
life
nothing.
or
That's
what's
the
going
reason why
on at that
y'all hearing the
particular
same
time.
thing over again.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, what's your take when you think about that perception that the media has portrayed and the way that a lot of women tend to respond to introverted men? What's been your experience?
I don't know. I have a low threshold for what I allow in my space.
Smart
Okay.
man.
I
Smart
move off
man.
energy. So if I notice that the girl I'm talking to isn't really into me and I have to kind of force an attitude that I know isn't me
See?
into like her experience, I will just completely cut myself away from the relationship.
Okay.
And that's
Boom.
just real. Like I'm not about to sit here and be
Boom.
like,
Hold on. Let me
yeah,
pause it. Boom. You hear that? He says, yo, listen, I'm not about to put no mask on. I'm not about to pretend. I'm not about to be faking and bending to your will, trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not going to pretend to be extroverted when I know I'm introverted. I'm going to just remove myself from this situation because clearly what you're looking for in this moment, I'm not meeting your requirements. I'm not the guy you're looking for. And that takes maturity to be able to remove yourself from that situation. See, a lot of people will try to drag it on. They'll start trying to implement changes about themselves. But guess what? All you doing is you putting on a temporary mask. And at some point, yo, it's going to start fading and you're going to have to retouch it. The person's going to be like, yo, what's up? Why? I thought you was into this, that, and the third. And you like, nah, hold on. Oh, man. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to be into that because I told you I'm into that. Just be honest. Just be open. Just be yourself. If you introverted, you ain't got to hide that. You ain't got to hide that. Don't run from it. Be you. And ladies, respect that. Respect that about a man. Don't try to change him. Don't try to make this introverted man into an extrovert just because the programming has convinced you that that's what a man that you should be interested in is like. Nah, step back for a minute. Really get to know a man. See what qualities does this introverted man have that you can find some value in and approach it from that situation. Allow him to be himself and see if that vibe, that alignment is there for the two of you. That's the way to do that. But let's get back into it, man, before we wrap this up.
will just completely cut myself away from the relationship.
Okay.
And that's just real. Like I'm not about to sit here and be like, yeah, like I don't know. My experience has always been like, okay, I always like that I can't read you. That's something I hear a lot. Sometimes you'll hear, yeah, you are mysterious, like what they see in the media. I think they like the fact that mostly that I can't be read or that I don't really let my thoughts out until you get a glimpse of who I really am in like a certain moment based on like how deep our relationship is.
That right there, y'all.
That right there. Yo, my man Felix dropping gems. There's a link to his channel in the description. Go show him some love. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. My man Felix, keep up the amazing work, bro. And definitely can't wait for you guys to go and check out the full discussion. As I said before, I'm going to bring it up one more time. Over on the Patreon, if you want to gain full access to this discussion with my man Felix, just go to patreon.com/Immanuel. It will be a link in the description for you to do that. Become one of our day one real ones. Or if you want to join the inner circle, by all means, you are welcome. But this is where you'll get full access to my discussion with my man Felix, diving even more deeper into the things that women need to understand about introverted men. So ladies, if you're currently with an introverted man or you are interested in potentially being with an introverted man, there's a lot of gems, a lot of nuggets that you'll be able to take from our conversation. But with that being said, that's it for today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, y'all, stay blessed.